piece of paper can be one of the most powerful anti-corruption tools in the world. This little piece of paper also almost cost me my marriage. Why? Some time ago, my wife and I decided on not eating pizza for a while. You know. Of course, in secret, I did so anyways. The next night. But when she came home from work that evening, and I lied about what I had had for dinner, she immediately asked me if I would swear on our marriage I hadn't eaten pizza. How did she know I was lying? And are we still married today? I promise I'll answer both questions in a moment. But I want to talk about lies. I think my lie was a pretty innocent one. But what happened when the most powerful in society decides to lie? As an investigative reporter, I've had several pretty powerful people say untruthful things straight to my face. No, I never had a secret offshore bank account with undisclosed money on it. Okay. Or, yeah, of course I documented who it was for when I used taxpayer money to buy 600 bottles of wine, and so on. But nothing prepared me for the consequences of this lie.
Nu ska vi se, då har ni kanske bild från mig och Marco. Jag ska säga, ingen bild än Marco. Ingen bild i ryggen. Det började med att människor tog sig över polisbarrikaderna. What's that?
Flashbang.
My colleague Marco Nilsson and I were there on January 6, 2021 in Washington, D.C., where we saw people violently breaking into the United States Capitol building. As we all know, several people died in connection with the events and many were injured. But it was a surreal feeling being there for me. I tried to talk to people, and most of them just screamed at me. Not that I'm not used to that as a journalist today. I mean, telling people, hi, I'm a journalist, sometimes feels like, it feels like trying to make friends at Hogwarts by telling people, hi, my name is Little Voldemort. It's rarely popular, right? And I remember some people get outright disgusted. Other people just get uncomfortable. At the Capitol, one person asked me if I was there to lie about him. Another, just plain and simple, called me deaf. There seem to be a lot of people who distrust journalists today. Do you agree? Why is that? Actually, I'm going to say it like this. There seem to be a lot of people who distrust journalists today. And in some countries, I've seen alarming numbers. In the US, only 1 in 3 trust most news. In France, it's even worse, only 1 in 4. And when people don't trust journalists, it often means that they don't really trust their governments or politicians either, or their police, or even their neighbors. So when people call me deaf, I see it as a clear sign of a broader problem. And that was definitely the case at the Capitol. When I asked those who would talk to me why they were there, almost all of them said they were there to stop the newly elected president from taking office. They said they were saving democracy because some powerful people had told them without sufficient evidence that the election outcome was fraudulent. And I didn't even mention any names here because they aren't important. This was just one of the times where powerful people and their lies can become a threat against democracy itself. And lies are central to all forms of corruption. To this day, dictators continue to lie to stay in power. Greedy politicians lie to put money in their own pockets instead of giving it to people. The global cost of corruption every year is $2.6 trillion. That's more than the national budgets of the UK, India, and Saudi Arabia combined. Imagine how many schools or hospitals or roads that could have been built with that kind of money. So how do we take on this extremely complex question of distrust, lies, and corruption? Well, when I was looking at a list of the least corrupt countries in the world, I noticed something. Let's see if you see it too. Since I am from Sweden, I noticed that Sweden is up there, and a few other Scandinavian countries. I see the Netherlands, I see Switzerland, and a few others. Now look closely when I put up a list of the countries in the world with the most press freedom. Do you see it? I see the same Scandinavian countries up there. I see the Netherlands, I see Switzerland, New Zealand. Actually, if you look at it, 7 out of 10 countries are on both these lists. Is that a coincidence? Nope. There are several studies showing a direct link between anti-corruption and press freedom. If journalists can do their jobs well, there will be less corruption. And hopefully stronger democracies, right? So what if there's a formula to fight corruption and lies with the help of press freedom? What if it was possible for both me as a journalist and you as a citizen to get the truth about those in power? And what if it all has to do with this little piece of paper? Well, let me introduce you to a complicated Swedish word. Offentlighetsprincipen. The Swedish principle of transparency. You can forget about IKEA, Volvo, Avicii, Zara Larsson. Offentlighetsprincipen is one of the best things Sweden has ever produced. Yet hardly anyone outside of Sweden knows about it. This principle is a set of laws so important that they are actually written to the Swedish constitution. But remember, unlike those famous companies and artists, Offentlighetsprincipen does not have any PR agents to help promote it or even defend it. So if you find what I'm about to say useful for fighting corruption or lies, wherever you are in the world, it's going to be up to you to spread the word about this well-kept secret. Now I'm going to tell you three things in Offentlighetsprincipen that are crucial in helping or preventing those in power to being able to lie or being corrupt and get away with it. Number one, in Sweden, almost everything is public. Every single document in every local, regional, or national department is presumed to be public. As a Swede, I have the right to know what my government is up to. Of course, there are some exceptions, right? Such as national security, and a few others. And, you know, I'm not allowed to look at other people's health records, thank God. But almost everything else is public. That means that phone records and text messages of officials are public. Invoices and receipts, same thing. Even notes that people take at meetings are presumed to be public. This does wonders for trust. Me having actual documents to show, instead of having to rely as a journalist on all of those, sources speaking on condition of anonymity. That was the first one. The second one, and this is actually my favorite, the time limit. As a citizen, I have the right to walk into Parliament, ask for a specific document, and they have to show me that document immediately, like within minutes or hours. And should I want to take a copy home with me, they have to help me with that too, promptly. What does that mean, right? Well, in some countries with similar laws as Sweden, promptly means you could get your documents after 60 days or 30 days, if you're lucky. Let me show you what promptly means in Sweden. I wrote an email before I came here, and it went something like this. Good morning, Madam Prime Minister. Yeah. Good morning, Madam Prime Minister. I would like to see all of your emails, please. Could you send me a log of all emails you have received in the last week? All my best, Fouad Youcefi. Send. How do you think that went? Well, look and behold. Here are the emails of the Swedish Prime Minister. I sent my request from my bed at 8 in the morning, and I got this by lunch the next business day. Imagine getting records from the White House on the day that they stormed the Capitol. And imagine getting those records the same day or within a few days. Because that's what promptly means in Sweden. Well, how is that possible? Some people ask me, rightfully so. Well, because according to the law, the staff has to put all their other work aside when you or me ask for a document, so that lies or corruption can be exposed almost instantly. That was the second one. The final one is for all you whistleblowers out there, because Sweden seems to be taking you guys pretty seriously. Whistleblowers in Sweden have the right to talk with a journalist about almost anything, even some types of classified stuff. They also have the right to be anonymous, so you could call me up, ask for anonymity, and start talking to me about classified stuff. Please do. And I am bound by law to keep you anonymous, to keep that person anonymous. If I don't, I could go to prison for 1 year. That's me throwing away the cell key, by the way, if you're wondering. The best part of this legislation, though, is that it's also illegal for the boss of the whistleblower or anyone else at that department to try and find the leak, to try and find that whistleblower. They could try, but then they would risk up to 1 year in prison. And should they get that information anyway, so they know who the whistleblower is, it's illegal for them to make whistleblowers suffer any kinds of consequences. So they can't fire him or her. So, everything is public. Almost everything is public. You can get information really quick. And whistleblowers are well protected. Together, these three things in offentlighetsprincipen has helped me as a journalist and actually been crucial in holding those in power to account. It has helped reveal bribes. It has helped reveal corruption, and of course, countless of lies. But, there is a but here. Unfortunately, offentlighetsprincipen is threatened. The last couple of years, some people in power have tried to invoke more secrecy and less transparency. And that's even here in Sweden. And I know that Sweden is not alone. I can actually see the pendulum right now swinging the wrong direction. And as I said, it's up to me and to you to start promoting offentlighetsprincipen, to turn things around and to start rebuilding trust. Speaking of trust, how did my wife know I betrayed her trust with a pizza? Well, because outside of our apartment door, I had dropped this little piece of paper. The pizza receipt, which she found, of course. I had left a trail, and so does almost all types of corruption and lies. They leave a trail. So if we make it easier to find those trails of corruption, then there will be less corruption in the world. And with the help of offentlighetsprincipen, receipts like that can become the most powerful anti-corruption tools in the world. And believe me, it is possible to start trusting again. My wife forgave me. I've never lied about pizza since, I think. And we are still married. So if you would like to help fight corruption or pizza lies, put away that IKEA instruction for a while and start talking about the best Swedish product no one has ever heard of. If you can pronounce it, that is.